In the wake of our element-stabilizing endeavors, I flew high into Zega Grande's atmosphere to better evaluate the elemental health of the skydom. Recovery was slow, but it was progressing in the right direction. If skydwellers and primal beasts could return to living in harmony with one another, the elements should no doubt re-establish equilibrium. I visited the islands again to see how the people were faring. Blessed by the warm sun, smiles were abloom in the townships of the Einstedo archipelago. Meanwhile, the monks of Melos were still busy mopping up the flood that swept through the ravines of Lotania. A contingent of workers led by the family Zathba had unearthed a fair section of Dali's ruins. Several small encampments had already sprung up to capitalize on potential profits. Flights to Fondom from Folka and Seed Hollow had begun service. Construction on the observatory was coming along nicely as well. Come laughter, tears, or pain, skydwellers persevere. They learn to grow and evolve. They possess unlimited potential to overcome any manner of hardship that stands in their way. I witnessed that firsthand from my travels with the captain and crew. As the Supreme Primarch, it was my duty to watch over the people from high above. But maybe I was destined for another purpose. Skydwellers are strong. A time will come when they no longer need the aid of archangels, or any other such being. And as we fade in importance, we will be forgotten. Did he continue to advance Skydweller evolution, knowing full well it may lead to the end of his purpose? The ability to forget is a double-edged sword. The fear of being forgotten by someone important to you is unimaginably terrifying. When the primals of Zega Grande no longer had a role to play, they began to disappear from everyone's lives. What if these primals had influenced the elements in a bid to affirm their own existence? A final, desperate cry to the world, announcing they were still here. Before me, the sky stretched out under a blinding sun, blue as far as the eye could see. The world's cruelty wrenched my heart. Lucifer once wondered what makes the sky blue. I guess I have a question of my own for the skies. Would mortals and primals ever stop fighting? Could we ever live in harmony? Oh, am I a bit early? The portrait we posed for on the docks of Folka was complete, so I had plans to meet the others at the church to collect it. However, its humble halls were empty. It would seem my fellow crewmates were comfortable with being fashionably late. Don't get the wrong idea. I have absolutely no interest in vanity. I was, however, curious which colors the artist had selected to paint the sky. Once I'd confirmed this detail, I would be on my way. But it was quiet in the church, somber, you could say. Coffee would go well with this atmosphere. What I wouldn't give for just one cup, though I wasn't sure we could afford the detour for such a simple luxury. They're late. I had grown used to waiting on mortals. There was nothing to do except figure out the best way to pass the time. I could reanalyze our previous battle with Angra Mainyu, or I could also...
Sleepyhead!
Was someone calling me?
Rise and shine, Sleepyhead!
I was still groggy coming out of my accidental nap, but my ears were in working order. A cacophony of voices made sure of that.
Heard you're a coffee fiend, so I brought you my famous Zathba blend. Stuff will knock your socks off.
You failed to mention it was brewed with natural water melted from the purest snow of Lotania. I dare you to find a fresher source.
Sandalphon, my boy, how do you feel about sponge cake?
Try some of Seed Hollow's finest flower wine. Go on, take a swig straight from the bottle.
All right. Let the poor guy get his bearings, everyone. he did just wake up.
Somebody's popular.
What had I done to deserve this? Think, Sandalphon. First, you came to the church to receive a painting, and then...
You had no idea so many people wanted to come thank you, right? No wonder you're surprised.
I did not think I had done anything to warrant such an outpouring of gratitude. The children of man fuss over everything.
Look at it this way. If it weren't for you, we never would have noticed all the weirdness in the skies. You rock, dude!
As I fumbled for an excuse to escape the throng of well-wishers, Sierra Carte entered the church.
My goodness. We have ourselves quite the turnout here.
Turnout? What was this, a party?
And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. Voila!
The merchant presented me with a board wrapped in cloth. I gingerly removed it, only to be met with the shock of a lifetime. Lucifer? No. I felt as if my eyes were betraying me.
Huh. That wasn't exactly the reaction I was expecting.
Lyria and Vern peered over my shoulder.
Wow, you look so handsome, Sandalphon.
My identity as the Supreme Primarch had never been revealed to the artist, yet her intuitive eye still captured my hidden essence.
If you want, I could arrange for a replacement. No questions asked. Customer satisfaction is my #1 priority.
No, that won't be necessary. I'll take it. The pure arrogance of mistaking myself for Lucifer. I must have been drowsier than I let on. Yet somehow, it felt right. Regardless, I still had one outstanding issue with the portrait. Where would I hang it up?